Hi everybody. So as you can see, I'm working and work is important. Isn't it a very important part of our lives? The thing is that we want to sound fluent while we are at our workplace. Yes, that's a dream. So have you ever wondered that how would it affect if you can speak really cool and confident English at your workplace during any casual meetings, business meetings, presentations with your seniors, with your colleagues, with your juniors, and sound really impressive? Well, here is the solution with me today because I have brought 10 smart phrases that can be used in casual conversations, in business meetings, and any casual on the spot meetings at your workplace. Using these phrases will make you sound more professional and impressive. So, impress everybody while you speak English if you use all these phrases that I'm gonna tell you in details with context. So today's video is going to be again with context. All the phrases with their meaning, context, and example sentences. Are you ready for today's lesson then? I'm Shivangi Gupta, your CELTA certified English language tutor, certified by the University of Cambridge, the UK, and you're watching Speak English with Shivangi. Before beginning, please subscribe this channel because you get one English video lesson every day. Please like the video and share it with your friends too. Coming back to today's lesson, 10 phrases. See, phrases are very important. Phrases are your part of advanced English, and when you use phrases, you sound really impressive. They can make you sound serious, professional, and very dedicated towards your work. I'm not saying that if you don't use these phrases, you are not dedicated towards your work. No, it's not that. But if you use the phrases, the overall personality that you carry, it improves a lot. And you sound more smart, fluent, professional. So let's begin with today's phrases, the 10 phrases for today to use in any business meeting, any casual conversation, or with your colleagues. So the phrase number one is go down in flames. Go down in flames. Repeat after me. Go down in flames. Now, to go down in flames, it's an intense phrase, and this means something that has failed miserably, like spectacularly going down, a downfall, something that has failed or something that has been ruined. So, go down in flames. When there is a fire and there are flames and something burns, it goes down in a debris, isn't it? So I think from there this particular idiom has been inspired, this particular phrase has been inspired. Go down in flames, something that has failed miserably or something that has been ruined, completely wrecked. Now imagine a situation where some people, they are working on a project, it is successful, but they're not able to understand their target audience. They're not able to find an audience to sell that product to. It's a spectacular product, yet there is no audience to buy it. What will happen? This project is gonna go down in flames. It will fail miserably. So this is the situation where we can apply this particular phrase to. So understand the context. Now let's look at the example sentences to understand the context in a better way. Okay. For example, our plan is excellent, but if the investors don't agree, it can go down in flames. Another example, the company went down in flames because of its illegal financial activities. So go down in flames. It talks about the downfall, the ruin of something. And you can use this particular phrase if you want to warn about a plan that you think will not work out. If someone is suggesting a plan and you think this might not work out, this might actually ruin the whole project you're working upon with your team. Even if you're a team leader, if you're a team member, doesn't matter. If you think that your opinion matters, just go on and use the phrase, speak out your mind. Okay, phrase number 2. Now, this is a very common phrase that is used in the world of business, profession, corporate. That is out of the question. It's out of the question. That's completely out of the question. Okay, now repeat after me. That's out of the question. Now, that's out of the question doesn't mean that it's out of syllabus. No, out of the question. If something is out of question, that means it is unacceptable. It cannot be accepted at any cost, at any terms, and this is the final verdict, final decision of the person, that this particular thing, that whatever has been suggested is out of question, that the person does not agree, it is unacceptable, not acceptable at all. Under any given circumstances, this particular suggestion will never be accepted, whatever may happen. So imagine a situation to understand the context, that there is a team, they are talking about a particular project, and suddenly someone says that can we increase the budget? Now, increasing the budget is out of the question. Maybe the project head or maybe the director would say, no, it's out of the question. We cannot increase the budget at any cost. Under any circumstances, budget cannot be increased. So that is out of the question. So if someone is suggesting something right in the middle of project or something that cannot be included, now the stage has been over, you can easily use this particular phrase, out of the question. Now let's look at the example sentences. What you're suggesting is out of the question. We cannot change the company policies for you. We worked so hard on this project. Now changing it completely in the mid is out of the question. So, out of the question. Use this and sound cool. Phrase number 3. To keep an eye on something. Keep an eye on it. To keep an eye on something. Now repeat after me. To keep an eye on something. Okay, to keep an eye on something is to observe something very closely. So to keep an eye on something, that is a constant observation of a particular thing. You're saying that you need to constantly observe the particular thing and keep the person updated. To keep an eye on something is to keep something under your careful observation and stay informed about it, or keep the other person updated about the things. So keep an eye on it, and that's important. And a lot of times the project heads, managers, they use this phrase to keep an eye on it. For example, let's use it in a sentence. Keep an eye on all possible competitors. I want every report of what they are doing. This is the biggest deal that our company is going to crack. I want you to keep an eye on everything that is going on regarding this particular project. Now, phrase number 4. Phrase number 4. That is to take something for granted. Take something for granted. Repeat after me. Take something for granted. Now, taking something for granted has 2 meanings. Let's look at the meaning number 1 first. So, when you take something for granted, that means you're not valuing the thing. You have failed to appreciate the situation, the opportunity, or a person. It can be anything. As we're talking about it in the business context, most of the time it's an opportunity or a project that we are talking about. To take something for granted, that you have failed to appreciate it, you do not value it, or you do not understand the real value of the thing. Okay, for example, let's look at the example sentences. You're taking this deadline for granted. Another extension would not be granted. This might be a small scale project, but do not take it for granted. It has huge potential. Okay, now the meaning number 2. See, the meaning number 2 is when you take something for granted, that is, you're taking something as true without even investigating about it. So you are taking a situation, a report, anything that is presented, anything that is in front of you, To be truth as truth without even thinking about it rationally, without even knowing properly whether it's really true or not. For example, you are taking these reports for granted. Clearly, the profit is higher than what's mentioned here. She took the information for granted without even consulting her seniors. Phrase number 5 is keep in touch. To keep in touch. Now, keep in touch is often confused with to keep an eye on something. They are two very different phrases, and I'm checking to keep in touch here in this particular lesson so that I can tell you the difference between both the phrases. So, to keep in touch, it is a phrase that means to stay updated on a particular project, situation, about something. That is to stay updated and stay in contact via email, message, phone. So whatever is the medium, the person is in contact with other person and constantly updated about the situation. Whereas keep an eye on means observation. It's about observation, close observation of things. You can even appoint a manager to observe everything that is going on, or maybe a supervisor to observe everything. But keep in touch can be with anybody. It can be directly between two employees who are working in a particular environment on a particular project. So they both keep each other updated on the progress they are making separately on a particular project. So keep in touch is totally different and keep an eye on is different. Okay, now coming back to keep in touch. Keep in touch means constantly getting updates or being updated. For example, that's a deal. Let's keep in touch to discuss further terms and conditions of our deal. I would like all of you to keep in touch so that you can work on this project faster. Keep in touch and let me know about any new progress in the project. Okay, phrase number 6. Now this phrase is beautiful. It's something that is used in business meetings and discussions a lot. That is, hold that thought or hold your thought. Now, hold that thought is like you want to say this particular phrase when someone has mentioned something that is important and useful. It can be really beneficial. But then you suddenly remember something and you want to add something to it and you want to say to the person, hold that thought. That means you just remember whatever you have said. We are going to come back to it because it's important. But later on, right now, there's something else that needs to be mentioned. So it's like you're saying that we will come back to you. We'll get back to this idea later on because later on there's going to be something where this idea will be really beneficial. So this idea will be used later on in the meeting. So that's a very important phrase because it's like you're giving respect to the other person and you're interrupting with a politeness if you want to interrupt. It's like, hold that thought. We'll get back to it before I really want to discuss what's happening in this project right now. You know what? I really like the idea that you just mentioned. Hold that thought. First discuss about the new project and then we can discuss how we will include this particular idea of yours in that project. So hold that thought is basically a phrase that is used to tell someone to remember whatever idea they just mentioned during the meeting or something that you're discussing about, to remember that particular idea they just mentioned because it can be really important and they will discuss about it later on. First of all, whatever they were discussing, they'll complete it or maybe it will be useful later on. So it's a very important phrase to be used. Phrase number 7. Again, phrase number 7 is something that is used in meetings a lot during group discussions or any kind of casual discussion you're having regarding something. This is very important phrase for you to know. That is off the cuff. Off the cuff. Now, off the cuff is a phrase that is used to say that I'm saying something without preparation. When you say something without preparation, when you say something on the spot, spontaneously, that is off the cuff. It's like impromptu speaking. Suddenly there might be an idea that striked a person and they want to speak. So speaking off the cuff. Okay, let's look at some of the example sentences. Speaking off the cuff, can't we hire a new advertising agency for our project? The board posed some questions to the young entrepreneurs off the cuff. Well, I haven't thought about it in details before, so I'll speak off the cuff. What we can do is then the suggestion, whatever the person wants to suggest. So off the cuff. So off the cuff, you're telling that it was not thought before. You're speaking on the spot. That's the idea. It just struck your mind and you're speaking it off the cuff. Okay, now phrase number 8. Phrase number 8 is that you can use anytime during your day with your colleague. That's it. It is not something that is used in business meetings, group discussions. It can be used just like that in a casual conversation at your workplace. That is to have your hands full. To have your hands full. So to have your hands full means that you are too busy, that you do not have time for anything. You're extremely busy, extremely busy under the pressure of workload that you're carrying right now. So that is to have your hands full. So imagine that this colleague of yours, he or she approaches you and they're asking for a little help, but you are running on a deadline. You have ample of work to do and you have to do it by the end of the day and you do not really have any time to spare. So at that time you can say, I'm really sorry, but my hands are full. I will not be able to assist you. Please, can you seek somebody else? So you can politely tell them that you're really busy with work right now, right? So that is one thing. Another example, well, this deal is out of the question because we already have our hands full with the ongoing project. Phrase number 9, again a very important phrase and one of my favorites, to keep it under wraps. To keep it under wraps. Now repeat after me, to keep it under wraps. To keep it under wraps. Okay, to keep it under wraps is to keep something a secret or to keep it known to a limited number of people, not let the information out. Only a limited number of people, they know about this particular information. So it's very important in the beginning stages of anything at any company. A lot of times people say to keep it under wraps. So do not even let the other employees know in the office about this thing until and unless we get some progress on this thing, because outsiders, they do everything to ruin it, don't they? That's why a lot of times the seniors, the managers, they use this particular phrase to keep it under wraps so that they can protect their idea from their competitors. Okay, for example, let's use it in the example sentence. Keep the design for our new plant under the wraps. Until and unless we finalize this particular deal, I want you to keep it under the wraps. Okay, so phrase number 10, the last phrase for the day, that is to breathe down someone's neck. To breathe down someone's neck. Now repeat after me. To breathe down someone's neck. To breathe down someone's neck. Now to breathe down someone's neck. Now imagine if a person is breathing down your neck, that is, they are really very close. It will be very uncomfortable for you, won't it? Imagine the situation. If this phrase is taken in its literal sense, this particular situation will be very uncomfortable. And that is what exactly it is. To breathe down someone's neck is basically a very close observation or supervision of a team by somebody, a person who is constantly watching your every move, whatever you are doing. That is breathing down the neck. Sometimes a boss may breathe down the neck, a supervisor, an in charge. How to use it in a sentence? I really like our new in charge. She is so motivating. The previous in charge used to breathe down our necks. If we don't hurry up on the progress and give them a proper report, the investors will be breathing down our necks. We don't want a supervising committee right now. We don't want anybody to breathe down our necks and hinder our progress. My teammates would be really uncomfortable with it. So this is the way you can use this particular phrase in different situations and different sentences. So these were all the 10 phrases, 10 popular, smart phrases that you can use at your workplace, in your office, during a meeting, a conversation with your colleagues, with your boss. If you are a boss, you can use that. If you are a team leader, if you're a young entrepreneur, if you're planning to start your own startup, use the phrases next time whenever you're meeting an investor, potential investor, your potential colleague, your potential business partner, whoever the person is. Go conquer the world. So that's it for today. That was the lesson. Even if you're a fresher, you're right now in college, they will be really useful phrases for you once you join a big company, your dream company. And when you land your dream job and you'll use these phrases, you will sound really impressive. So go ahead, use them. Now I'm gonna see you next time with a new lesson. Till then, take care everybody and bye.